Coming to you live from Angel Grove centuries ago, a legendary interdimensional being known as Bruce, that's me, came to YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts to establish a command center for his never-ending struggle against evil. With the aid of his trusted assistant, Andy, the noble master sought out Chris and gave them the power to transform into a superhuman movie reviewing force. In time of great need, the three heroes could use their powers to call upon the 10-Point Podcast.
Yay!
Bravo, well done.
Well
I
played.
do like films that have an opening scroll. That I can
Change it a bit.
Yeah. We are the 10-Point Podcast. We have been given this almighty power to review movies for you. As said there, we're on YouTube. We're on wherever podcasts that come from. You can find us there. We're 10-Point Podcast. Social media channels, Facebook and Twitter, 10-Point Podcast over there. Send us messages, send us, I don't know, recommendations, thumbs up, likes, and all that sort of stuff. 10pointpodcast.com is our website. Go there and do other stuff there, like emails, contact us, and you can reach us for sponsorship and other sort of stuff over there too. We are the 10-Point Podcast. I haven't had any other special intros. It was all just wrapped up into the one there. So I will get on to what I've done in the last week. So what have we been watching in the last week? Who wants to go first?
Right, I'll go first because I've not watched anything. However, something spectacular happened finally, which I still don't know if it's a genuine thing or not. There's still doubts in my mind. However, I was at a Comic-Con this weekend.
Yes. Okay.
I was on the stand selling some wares, and I got pretty hammered on Saturday. Not gonna lie, I was about 3/4 of a bottle of vodka in, so I was more talkative than usual. And
approachable, some might say.
Yeah, I was approachable. So this guy, he was I still don't use the name. You'll get the point in this story. So a guy comes up. First thing I notice, he's got a Japanese Star Wars T-shirt. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then he's looking at the kind of movie posters I had on the table, and he's talking about the new Batman. He's like, oh, you crazy people always like to talk about the movie posters. Like, oh, I'm looking forward to that new Batman film. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like the Batmobile. And to be fair, the trailers look a bit shit. And he's like, oh no, I'm like blah blah blah, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I was like, and I just said a few more things, and he kind of looks at me. You get that stare where it's like somebody recognizes you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's like, do I know you? And I was like, no, do you? He's like, do you have a podcast? And I was like, yes. And he's like, the 10-Point Podcast. And I was like, yes. And then he's like, oh, I listen to you guys. Which straight away, my reaction went, wait there, Chantel's in a wind up here because she wasn't at the stand up.
Right, okay, yeah.
And she was wearing a 10-Point Podcast T-shirt. So I was like, right, she's either went away and found a random that I do not know to go and set me up here.
Yeah.
Or he's seen the T-shirt and decided, I'm going to wind this guy up. Or it was a genuine fan. But if it was a genuine fan, one, I didn't get his name. Two, I didn't really talk to him that much because he started freaking me out because he knew who I was.
So, flags everywhere.
So if he's listening to this, I do apologise. I was hammered and I thought it was a wind up.
And he also meant to ask you what a movie to put on the wheel, as we do with everyone.
That's the thing. I completely panicked. If it was genuine, I would have asked him that. I'd have all right, yeah, do you want us to get a movie on, blah blah blah. But no, I just panicked because I thought it was a wind up, and yeah,
not
that was my week.
Life here, Andy, I don't think.
So yeah.
So, if we ever get a big break, I don't know how we're going to go about it. We'll probably miss it, I think.
Yeah, just don't ask me for stuff, especially when I'm hammered.
Well, that's it. That's going to be it. He's going to appear everywhere. I'm your biggest fan, Andy.
Oh, I hope he's not one of them weirdos, though, because if he is, just, don't stop listening to our podcast.
And before
he seemed like a nice guy.
I would think exactly. Yeah. I would say probably that you were the strange person in this conversation. Like, oh, he's a guy. He does a podcast. I know he does his podcast. I'm going to go chat to him. And you're like, hey, what?
Because I was like, if you just wait, Chantel will be back and she's got a T-shirt on. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, and then Chantel was like absolute ages. That's why I thought it was a wind up, because then he left. Then about 5 minutes later, she came back and I told her the story. And she's like, no, what did he look like? I'll go and get him. And I was like, I couldn't even tell you what he looked like. All I remember is a Japanese Star Wars T-shirt. That was it.
I can see Chantel just not believing you at all. Like, what are you talking? How many have you had? 3/4 of a bottle of vodka. Oh, yeah.
Goes on the cameras and there's nobody standing there, just Andy talking to himself.
I was just having a conversation to myself. Yep.
Well, hopefully that's the first of many. I hope that you go to Comic Cons around into several. That's better than anything I've watched in the last week. I'll say that much, Andy. So what I have done, TV show I've been working on for about 3 weeks now. If you remember, I said I watched the first Captain America movie just randomly the other week there, and I thought I've never watched the Agent Carter TV show because it came up as the recommended thing that came on Disney Plus. So I thought I'll work my way through that. First season's pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. The second season dives off a cliff like I don't know. Nose and I'm like, I can see why they got cancelled here. And the whole thing ends up just randomly with Peggy. Spoiler for the end of Agent Carter from about 10 years ago. She just kisses this guy who there's been a tiny bit of a flicker of a love kind of thing with, and then that's the end. It's like the next time we see her is like 50 years later, and Steve Rogers is back in time falling in love with her again. And also, it doesn't fit in line with the Marvel one-shot thing as well, which I watched because it came up as well, recommended. So I forgot that. It's like that comes kind of before this TV show, but doesn't actually fit in with the timeline of the TV show and all that. So they kind of messed up. Of course, they don't actually acknowledge Agent Carter, the television show, as being canon. It's all confused. But anyway, the whole multiverse means these things all can happen, but not necessarily happen.
He appears again in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they start time traveling.
Yeah, because I watched some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I remember bits and pieces that might kind of connect the two. So yeah, I feel that's going to happen again. But I did watch a film in the last week. In Chris' style, I just noticed it was on telly, and I watched it. I do not do this very often. I don't watch films that are on TV. But Chris feels like, oh, I've watched this. It was on the night. I ended up watching Murder on the Orient Express, the kind of the Kenneth Branagh one. Obviously, it's on because the Death in the Nile's just come out. I think. I thought, oh, I've never seen this one. I'll stick it on and all that. I don't know the story at all. It's a Agatha Christie classic. I think every version has basically the same storyline and all that. And it's okay. However, it has one of the biggest cop-out endings I've ever seen in a murder mystery, which I won't spoil if you've not seen it.
Butler did it.
There's a butler in it. Yeah, I won't say any more than that. But yeah, it's well made, well acted. It's got very famous people in it, all for about 10 minutes each. All being okay. Kenneth Branagh is, I don't know, he's got a hilarious moustache on purpose, and
it's not the same as the original Poirot. David Suchet with his little tiny thing.
Exactly, yeah. And he does a pretty good accent, and it's all a bit silly at times and all that. But yeah, you spend the entire time trying to work out. I had a theory early on, and that was wrong, and then I had a theory about halfway through, and I turned out to kind of be right, sort of thing. So I don't know. It was probably worth my time. It didn't last very long. It didn't spoil my evening or anything like that. But yeah, I watched that actual film on TV for once, and it was all right. I was maybe going to go see Death on the Nile after watching Murder on the Orient Express. I'm like, I'll probably miss it and maybe catch it on TV in the same way as well. So thumbs very much in the middle for Murder on the Orient Express. What about you, Chris?
In preparation for the movie we were about to talk about, I watched the TV series again on Netflix.
When you say the TV series,
the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger TV series,
like the first season or 20 seasons of it, or
oh no, like I'm only on like 30th episode of season 1. Only watching the Mighty Morphin.
Only 29 seasons of Power Rangers
episodes in the first season. How is that? Like, it's been on for over a year.
You can actually you can tell us then, where does the film fall into the chronology of?
I haven't got that far yet.
The film 30 episodes in. Okay. Right.
Yeah. I think there's like 60 episodes in this first season, and I think it's season 2 it kicks in.
It was it was like a cultural bomb that went off, wasn't it? It was like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was nothing, and then it was on TV all the time. There's millions of it. There's toys everywhere. Here's a film. Here's another series. Here's another here's an animated thing. It all happened in the space of about other 18 months.
It's really shit up until the Green Ranger appears. Then it gets shit again when he disappears. It gets alright because he comes back again. It gets shit again. Then the White Ranger appears.
It's a very hit or miss show. I remember watching it, but yeah, it really picks up its stride in season 2. But yeah,
well, apparently that's the worst one. That's when it all goes tits up.
Well, the end does because it fits right in between the first and the second season, and that's when everybody changes.
Well, yeah, I have questions about that. I'm sure we'll get on to it. But any further review upon the television series, Chris?
It's shit.
Are you going to keep going, or is that you? Like,
I'm going to blast through it just for nostalgia's sake.
You should definitely get. I think season 21 or something like that. Zordon's basically a hamster. It's pretty fucking mental.
I'm going to Google Mighty Morphin Power Rangers episodes to watch, so I don't have to go through all the guff.
The top 100 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There is some bangers in the 29 seasons and about 1 million episodes. There is some actually really good TV in there.
I forgot I had this toy as a kid, but I was watching it, and like the Dragon Zord came out of the water, and I was like, oh, it's like Godzilla. I was like, I had that. I was playing with that. And then
I was literally
remember-
going to bring all my collectibles and put them behind me, but I forgot.
Collectibles.
Collectibles.
Toys.
he was sitting there playing with them.
So one thing I have to ask at this point, it surprised me in the film because I kind of misremembered, but I did watch the TV show. Did they have like classic Godzilla style fighting in the TV show? Where it's like clearly a guy in a suit punching and it's like playbill. Right, okay. Because the film doesn't have that, and I thought that's what the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was. But yes, we'll get into that, I'm sure, quite shortly, I would imagine, because we better move on to point one, which is what is the point. And the point this week is the 1995 action adventure family sci-fi thriller. I don't know why thriller comes into it, but it did. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Brought to us by 20th Century Fox, who we do all the time. Highs and lows, such as Gone Girl, Aliens, Aliens, Cocoon, Kung Pao, Die Hard, Me, Myself and Irene, and Office Space. As some of the films have done from 20th Century Fox. Also, Saban Entertainment, who seem to mainly do like 90s children's TV shows and movies and all that. A lot of straight to DVD.
And it's pronounced Saban.
Is it Saban? Is it okay? I wasn't sure. I gambled because I knew someone who has that surname. It's spelt and pronounced that way. And also by the Toei Company, not Toy Company, but Toei, Toei Company. Big Asian cinema producer. To me, the most famous Asian film of all time, Battle Royale, was also produced by them. And a whole bunch of other ones that I would kind of sort of recognise. But yeah, big time production company from Japan. So the film, based on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers television show that was adapted from stock footage from the Japanese television show Super Sentai. Something like the 14th season of that was specifically turned into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where they used, let's say, everything where you can't see people's faces for the most part is the Japanese one, and then they put the American actors in.
And it messed up as well because the Yellow Ranger in the Japanese version is a guy, which is why the Yellow Ranger in this one doesn't have the skirt.
Right, okay, fair enough. Again, I'm sure we'll get onto these things in a bit. The film, written by Arne Olsen, not the greatest highlights on Arne Olsen's IMDb page. Red Scorpion before writing the movie, then Heroes to Life and Repeaters. I did no further digging, I don't recognise any of them, and that's what they were famous for writing. And also written by John Camps. This was the first thing he ever wrote, somehow. But then went on to write The Borrowers, Zathura, A Space Adventure, a title that I see all the time, but I've never seen 1 second of or even know what it's about other than it's a space
adventure. Jumanji in space.
Right, okay, there we go. That says it all. He also wrote Ghost Town, the Ricky Gervais movie, where I think it is like a friend of his dies and haunts him and he has to help him out. And then recently the film Premium Rush. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie directed by Brian Spicer. Again, this was the first big thing that he ever directed. But the other highlights of his directing are being a second unit director on the X-Files movie, directing 12 episodes of 24, and being the second unit director of Elektra, that great movie, and then most recently directed 35 episodes of Hawaii Five-O, the reboot, not the classic one. And another guy, Brian Spicer, is of these people who have directed literally one episode of every single TV show you could possibly imagine, like every CSI and every one of these and one of them. It's one or two of everything. Okay, on to the cast then. Maybe you can help me out a little bit here. So I have in credit order how they appeared at the end of the film. So we have Karen Ashley, who is the Yellow Ranger, I believe. Yep. What's her character name?
Aisha.
Right, that's one I missed. I was unaware at the end of the film twice of what her character name is. We have, as the Black Ranger, Johnny Young Bosch. What's his character name? Adam. Now, I've got Adam. I haven't written that down, but I remembered he was called Adam because I have a point about him later on. He's got credits I recognise. He was in Akira and Bleach. He voiced characters in both of those. Also in the cast, Steve Cardenas as the Red Ranger, either Rocky and or Rocco.
I'll let Andy take this one.
Right, Rocky. Okay. I don't have any other big credits for him. I do know the name, but I think that's because I know Andy and Andy knows him. So but I don't have anything else.
It's pretty much it. He's a nice guy, but yeah, he's Power Rangers. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, I think what he's known for is like Power Rangers, Power all the way along. So next, as the White Ranger, who is Tommy, I know that one. Jason David Frank. Another name I know, but I'm not exactly sure if he's in much else, to be honest.
He's a kind of UFC fighter. He was slagging off CM Punk a lot. That's probably why you know him.
I think that's where I probably heard his name. Yeah. Pink Ranger is Kimberly, is Amy Jo Johnson. She was in Flashpoint, a TV show that I watched for a while, but that's pretty much it, apart from Power Rangers.
My first love.
And then, finally, as the Blue Ranger, David Yost didn't catch the character name for the Blue Ranger.
Billy. He's Billy.
Really, I think I had a different one. I think I thought it might be something like David or something like that, but that's his name. But yeah, Billy. So there we go. They are our Rangers. They were the first 6 people in the cast. There are other people and all that, and I'm sure we'll get on to them as well. Made on a budget of $20 million. US opening weekend saw the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers get $13 million back. Final US gross $38 million. Final worldwide gross $66.5 million. So it's one of those rare movies that it made more on home soil than it did abroad. But I'm guessing it wouldn't be that huge in Asia because they have their own version. It would be kind of a daft American. Yeah, exactly. A daft American version of our one. So it might not do too well over there. But probably Europe, Australia doubled its money, I would have said. Released 30th of June 1995 means it was 1996 award season. It got 1 nomination in its history. That was which is better than some. I think we've had 2 this season that had none. The 1996 Young Artists Awards. Only one person.
Steve Cardenas.
Only one, and it was your man Steve Cardenas got nominated for Best Young Supporting Actor. However, he didn't win. He lost to Jonathan Hernandez for the film My Family, not the British TV sitcom, but a Jimmy Smits movie. Looks like a kind of, I don't know if it's a comedy or whatever. It looked like it could have been a comedy. I've got sort of family, sort of drama, maybe comedy drama. But yeah, Jonathan Hernandez, as best I could tell, didn't turn out to be anything huge. Okay, the film itself, I've got a synopsis by a new contributor. I think it's Newell, is how you say it. I kind of adapted his username because it was like, hi, it's Newell or something like that. So I'm assuming Newell is his name. Anyway, so his synopsis for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie is...
no Newell, only Zool.
Oh, exactly. Hey. So Zool says, when a giant egg is accidentally digged out of Angel Grove, Ivan Ooze, whom Zordon had trapped him inside the egg 6,000 years ago, is break free. Ooze left to seek revenge on Zordon at the command center. With Zordon dying and the Power Rangers powerless, Alpha teleports them to a distant planet Phaedos to obtain the great power. Will the Power Rangers get their powers back, save Zordon, Angel Grove, and the universe from Ivan Ooze? And that's the synopsis of the film here.
What a storyteller that guy's got.
He paints a picture, does Newell. Who picked? Andy picked. Andy, why don't you tell us why you picked it?
Basically, 1995, what a year. And also, so many people have asked for this movie. Power Rangers got a particularly passionate fan base, shall we say.
Right.
And
it was on my list as well. I was planning to pick it at some point.
It's one of them films that had to come up at some stage, and also I would say pretty much 98% of the cast are on my Facebook, so they're going to be listening to this podcast at some stage, for good or for bad.
Power Rangers is so far off my radar that I might have been able to pick like 1,000 films that ever get into this. Not because I necessarily don't like the Power Rangers or I'm not aware of them.
I'll tell you what, our fan base is probably going to double overnight. When this episode goes live, there's such a passionate fan base. This will just go out. It'll be like wildfire, and then we'll have to do the second Power Rangers movie.
Right,
Carnage.
Well, I've never seen that one. I don't want to see that one.
Start popularizing. Have we seen it before? I had not seen the film before.
Oh, really?
I estimate when I was probably about 9 years old, I saw something like about a dozen episodes of the television show. Never really got into it because I liked real fighting and I wanted to watch the WWF instead. So I think that's where. At age of 9, that's where I like watching football, I like watching wrestling, and nothing else mattered. That was that for me. So I think
this was like, I would say peak. Like, I remember my dad watching Neighbours, and then I remember I wanted to watch Power Rangers. It was kind of like, I would say, my first kind of adult show, where this is what I want to watch, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Like, not cartoons and stuff like that. It's like, it's a kids show, but it's like adults in it, if you know what I mean.
I read about this. Apparently, it was doing so well that it got shifted from modern time TV to prime time, and they've never done that for kids' TV series because,
like I say, it was huge. Like I say, in the space of about 2 months, it went from here's this brand new thing. It was on. I've got which channel would you see the movie on? But which channel was the TV show? Am I right in thinking it was
ITV?
It was ITV.
It was Nickelodeon originally had it, so you had
on the movie.
Sky,
The TV series on ITV.
But yeah, ITV had it over here as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I remember it was like all of a sudden it was here's this new thing coming on and poof, toys are everywhere and everyone's going mad for it and it was just like out of nowhere, crazy. Yeah, which channel would we find the film on? I don't really have an answer. ITV as well. I don't.
Probably, but I know it was the first ever film on Nickelodeon.
There you
So
go.
if it,
Okay.
the Nickelodeon were obviously just cartoons and like kind of kids shows, and it was the first
I'm an
ever film that
uncultured
Nickelodeon
swine. I
showed.
didn't have Sky as a kid.
Yeah, but I would say it would probably go into ITV as well.
Cool. And which version? I think there is only one version. I couldn't find any evidence as being even an alternate version for an alternate
No, it's
country.
just all extras on DVDs and stuff like that.
So we all watched the same one. On to point 2 then, the high points. What we thought the best bits and things about the film were. Andy, you picked. Why don't you start us off?
The start.
Yep.
Every time it gets me. It's like it starts off nice scroll, like as I said, a scroll's always a good thing, and then it doesn't give too much away, and it's like, all right, what's going on here? And then they jump out of planes with a banging tune.
I did like that the scroll at least told me why this was happening, as in why
You didn't
these
need
bunch
to
of
know
kids,
about it.
why
Yeah.
these bunch of kids are doing what they're doing. Well, with the exception of why they're jumping out of a plane, that comes, but like why they can do what they're doing is like, okay. One paragraph is all needed, and now I know. Yes, I don't have to have slaved through 40 episodes of a TV show to know
Yeah,
why
exactly.
they're doing.
I actually did quite like that.
This isn't exactly a low point, but it always makes me laugh when they say it's teenagers, because the only one that was actually a teenager when it started isn't in it anymore. Billy the Blue Ranger was closer to being 30 than he was a teenager.
Since you mentioned it, Chris, that's what I was doing before we started. There was accumulating all this data. I was going to do it as a follow-up to Andy's quiz, but we can have a little fun quiz here. Chris seems to have some spoilers, so guess the ages. When I believe this film was being produced of all these teenage Power Rangers. What age was the Yellow Ranger at the time of production?
I'd say 25.
19. So that
All right.
Teenager, that's all right.
that's let's say when they probably started. Yeah, definitely still a teenager. The Black Ranger.
He was
22.
23.
18. He was the youngest of the bunch. He was
Was
also the newest, I believe. That was at the time. The Red Ranger.
21.
I'll stick with 22.
20. So yeah, it's definitely
Ah.
not. The White Ranger.
He was 22.
He was not. I'm going to say he was 20 as well. 20.
21. And in between
Ah.
two. Right, here's the big ones. The Pink Ranger. How old was she at the time of production?
23.
24.
24 is correct. And the Blue Ranger. How old was our man David?
28.
26.
25 is what he was. So
Ah.
you both got high, but I mean, I don't mean any disservice. He's a handsome fella. He looked every bit of his 25.
See him in the TV series, he looks older than he does in the film.
Oh, yeah. It's because he wears glasses, so he looks twice the age.
Right, okay, that probably did help, yeah. But yeah, I had it as a low point. Teenagers question mark as like, yeah, I do not. Maybe I think the two that were teenagers, they're kind of fresh faced enough,
Yeah.
and then the Pink Ranger could get away with being a teenager probably for another 10 years. She'd probably still get away with being a teenager. But yeah, I did not believe that the guys were teenagers. I've got my first high point as the opening skydiving scene is.
That skydiving scene, it gets me every time.
It
Like,
has-
it's literally the best bit of this film.
I think it
It's
might.
amazing.
I think it might be, and it's like you can see that there's a little bit of green screen with close-ups, but other than that, that's someone actually skydiving, and that's always good. The music is brilliant as well. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers version of Higher Ground as well.
Fun fact, that was in the pilot episode of the US version of Power Rangers, and then it got cut out for licensing reasons.
Ah, okay, and then they put.
So they put it back into the film.
It does seem kind of strangely to fit the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't know why. This is same sort of atmosphere. I do have one question. I'm not sure why they're doing it. Why are they skydiving? Why are the other two idiots from the TV show in the plane? And then we don't see them for an hour and a half. I don't know why that's.
I imagine they were doing it because they didn't want to be shown up by the other kids.
Yeah.
I said, we'll do it if you'll do it.
Were they antagonists in the TV show? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Bullies, basically.
Yeah, basically the bullies, they kind of know their power, like they're trying to work out their identity, but yeah, they're basically the bullies of those.
So
they always get fucked up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they always.
Cakes to the
They're always
face
there or
and pain.
thereabouts. They're always the kind of butt of the jokes. That's what they were.
They did a good job of convincing that builder that they were from.
Oh, yeah, I love Bulk and Skull. They're great.
Bulk and Skull are massively underused, and we'll get to them later.
Yeah, if they're in the film, they're in the film for about 3 minutes. Like they are barely in the film. So my question is, I'm positive. I feel like Chris is the guy who has the keen ear, the keen eye for these sort of things. I'm positive when Tommy lands on his little surfboard thing, or I guess it'd be a snowboard. There's a voice on the PA that's been like, "Oh yeah, here's the people coming, blah blah blah," and the voice in the PA goes when he lands. He did it! That's a new city record! Way to go, guys! I think the voice of the PA is it.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not just him. Like good to go, guys. You've set the city record for what exactly? Have they set the city record?
I think all landing on the bullseye.
Yeah.
Is it consecutive amounts of people landing on the bullseye?
Well,
Is
wait,
that-
so
I
that's
think
5
so.
for 5.
Yeah.
Just one more
Yeah.
or something like that.
so
I think
this
they
is-
were like what do you call them? Like group teams. They were skydiving teams, and I think that's what the thing was.
So this is
But-
a repeated, like regular city event that's skydiving in teams to land on a bullseye, and I guess teams of 6, and it's the first time anyone's ever got 6 out of 6. Right? Okay. Competitive skydiving is not. I'm less aware about competitive skydiving than I am the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is not my area of expertise at all. Who's got another high point then?
My next was up until the first time it's Morphin time.
That's pretty much where I'm at as well, because going from the crappy lycra suits to seeing their full-on costumes, it's like, fucking hell, they've actually got a budget.
That was a nostalgic
costumes.
boner right there, I tell you. Those suits were awesome.
So up to this point, it's literally been the ones that you can buy out of like a fancy dress shop, isn't it? That are, like,
Yes.
Oh,
it's
I've got a fun
like-
story for you. I just read about this today. The original Red Ranger, what was it called? Austin St. John. He played Jason. The skins were like, the suits were really skin tight and thin, and the command center was cold. So the original Yellow Ranger, who is sadly no longer with us, knew it was cold, and he liked to just stand by himself like the big guy. So she would go up and like hug him and get him all excited to the point where he'd pop a boner. Because he was only 18 and you find out he was going to get excited about it.
There we go.
Anyway, as regular, I got earlier than normal. We've plumbed the depths of the 10
That was a fun story. I just read about it today.
It's a story, I'll say that. I don't know exactly where we are in terms of the film, but my next high point I've got written down, it's just Ivan Ooze. I very much enjoyed him. I don't know.
That must have been before that.
That was just before that when he
Yeah.
comes in and just he's like I really like him as a bad guy.
Yep.
Like Paul Freeman absolutely nails him.
I had
for years I
absolutely-
thought that was Robin Williams.
Yeah, he looks. I had absolutely no idea who he was. I didn't do any like researching ahead of time, and very much like Skeletor. And I was like, oh, this guy. You can tell this is like a classically trained actor here is playing the villain. This always goes really well throughout. I'm like, this guy, he can really chew the scenery. I think is the thing. And it gets to the end, and I'm like, Paul Freeman. I know that somewhere. I was like, bloody hell, it's the bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Why is he in the Power Rangers movie? It's like he absolutely outacts like the entire rest of the movie. Like it's not like he's in a different film because he's quite clearly in a Power Rangers film, but it's like everything gets raised.
He can sell
whenever-
cheesy.
Yeah, and he plays it up the right amount. It's not over the. It's obviously over the top because of what the context is, but yeah, he's just really, really good. And he plays it perfectly, and I very much enjoyed him.
My next one is literally him destroying the command center and just him just like blown up, and then he's like, "Oh, the things I've missed: the Black Plague, the Spanish Inquisition, the Brady Bunch reunion." I never noticed him say that before.
Which apparently was just an outtake of him just saying it, like he was just spieling off random things, and that's one of the things he left in. But no, that's my next high point. Is like I always go on about it. Sets.
Mhm.
You can tell they've not spent any money on actors because none of them are actually famous at this
It's a
time.
TV. It's a TV series, isn't it?
And they spent all their money on sets, and like the set didn't even look that good in the TV show, and
no.
it's there for all of maybe 30 seconds,
Yeah.
nice mint, and then it just gets absolutely fucked up.
You say that that's probably the only. There's maybe like 3 sets in the film. There's that one. There's the the kind of bad guy moon planet base thing.
Yeah,
I guess the sort of the one they go to. But other than that,
Yeah.
they're just outside. It's just like, oh yeah, we'll film over in the plaza over there, and we'll go to that hole in the ground over there. This thing, it's got a lot of a lot of fresh air about it. I feel like you're actually genuinely in this city, which is it Australia? I believe they filmed in Australia or something like that. So they made it feel like America. I'll say that much. But yeah, there's not a lot of sets. The whole film takes place outside. We'll get to the end, I'm sure, at some point. Who's next for the high point?
I've got an overall high point before
The
Chris
what?
steals some more. The fight sequences. They're fun without being too over the top. And then when they were about to end, the White Ranger just takes it that bit too far. And then something ridiculous happens. But I love like like you always talk about dance fighting and Blade. I love it when people just backflip for no apparent reason to try and get out there faster.
There's a lot of flipping in this. There's one point where is it the Pink Ranger just starts flipping off screen, and then
Yeah.
I'll go with you, and there's the Blue Ranger
Yeah.
flipping after her. It's like, why?
See, I just love that. And even like when watching it as a kid, that was the bit I loved. But even watching it now, when you're drunk, it's still funny. It's just enough humor on the fights. They're just like they're good.
I enjoy that they can't move their arms, so they're going.
But
Hey,
when they're
like
walking,
When they were walking through that thing, and said, "Come on!" Like all 600 went like that at the same time.
to be fair, that is one of my low points. I'll bring that up in a minute.
I've got more points for Science Days, but I'll go on to my next high point. I found this in my notes when I watched it the second time. I've just got bloody hell, was not expecting that. I've got brackets, half-naked woman saves the Power Rangers Ben Kenobi
Oh,
style.
no.
That was my Leia's bikini when I was a kid.
I'll tell you what, like as a kid, like Chris said, Amy Jo Johnson's like first crush. She spunks all over Amy Jo Johnson. I'll tell you that.
Goodness sake. But yeah, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting
I forgot all about that.
Amazonian supermodel to just come out of nowhere.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And did you know she got fired as well?
I did not know that.
So
no.
fun fact is she did her scenes, like the first scene, then I think she got some kind of weird like cancer or illness, so she basically had to not film. They brought in somebody else, filmed absolutely tons of stuff with them on Face Off or Barbados, whatever the fuck it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But the other woman was so shit, they decided, actually, we'll just cut that stuff out, and then she came back because she was well enough to come back and film the rest of it. So that's why it's actually a bit cobbled together.
All right.
It looks a bit weird.
I was gonna say like they just felt like Zordon's dying. Had been travelled. Thinking that she saves him, and they were walking up the steps, and she stops like every 10 seconds. And like they're like, we're in a rush. We have to save Zordon, and then takes another step, then stops.
I just couldn't avoid thinking at that point. It's like, I don't know where they're going, but that cannot be the best route to go wherever they're going. Let's walk along the absolute cliff edge next to this water. Like, there has to be a better way to go wherever you're
But
going.
yeah, even Chantel commented on her like lack of almost bikini. Like, there was nothing covering the front.
It's very much a children's film. Like the story, the characters, and
You
some
have to
other
do
stuff. I'm
something
gonna
for
get
the
into.
adults.
But yeah, you can say
that's
this is
something for the dads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's why the dads sit and watch this film. Right, I'll be back in a minute. I'll wait at the toilet.
I've got a couple of high points to go. So who's got some more than that?
I've got one more really. Well, I've got a couple. Like the fight when they are getting to the stone, but Adam's I'm a frog at his ninja suit. It just cracks him up every time.
Every time it gets me.
I've got as a low point, but just what they did Adam really dirty by making him a frog. Like, there's absolutely no reason that he needs to be like. There's about 1,000 animals that he could have been. That weren't
another fun fact: that line in that is an outtake. So when she comes up and goes, "You're a frog," he was actually still pissed. Like apparently, doing it, he knew what he was going to go into. He still couldn't deliver his line, and just went, "Yeah, I'm a frog." And he basically told the director he wants that to be in because he was so pissed off about being a frog, because he obviously replaced the other Black Ranger. So he's thinking, "Oh, I'm coming in. I'm going to be the Mastodon. That's pretty cool. That's a like proper decent dinosaur or whatever." And then I'm a frog. That's not the one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, an hour into this big film.
I thought it was like all the animals they could have picked. They picked a frog.
Yeah, it's like I could see at the end. Okay, it is like shooting out a tongue and it was holding the thing down.
I think it's actually something more to do with because they're all based on the Sentai series of the ninja one, and I'm pretty sure because like a frog's sacred in like Japan and stuff like that. That's why it is that.
Like one of the animals, it's like the year of the frog and all that.
Yeah,
so maybe a bit more like that. I also felt like the guy who was the ape, was it the red one? He was the ape. He just got away with it. I think he was gonna be a monkey. Like I thought, like because he was before the frog guy. I thought he's gonna be the joke one. He was gonna be a monkey. But no, the frog was. So I've got two more high points. One is very small. I enjoyed the hypnotized parents all having hard hats and high vises on when they were doing the building work.
Safety work.
They're just picking up the tiniest little pebble and just chucking it away.
I must have, like, no wonder he was like behind me getting pissed because it's gonna take a while getting all them adults.
They all had to go to health and safety briefing. They all had to get like, who's a large, who's an extra large.
But what a nice bad guy. He's thinking he's even got them matching uniforms. He's got his branding down. He's a villain with branding.
Yeah. And my last high point I've got is I was surprised at how good the Triceratops skeleton fight was. Like,
Yeah.
to that point, I thought the CGI had been passable. Like the ooze, people might have complaints about it, but I felt it kind of worked, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I can get along with the ooze, especially the way it kind of the last bit where it turned into like a solid thing. Actually, was quite good for 1994. But the Triceratops skeleton, I couldn't tell how much of it was a practical giant skeleton or how much of it.
It kind of looks like a guy like green screened him out and he was kind of running.
Yeah,
But yeah, it definitely looked practical.
but
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. That set, I love that set. I love that whole end fight.
Yeah, but I just thought it was very good for that. I need to add it in as one of my nominees because I didn't write it later on. So who else has got any last high points?
I'm out.
Like I said, mine was pretty much there. My high points end at that kind of Triceratops fight. I love that fight.
The one after that, with their fight just before they get their powers against the rock things, that was all right.
Yes, absolutely love that bit.
I don't know what
that's
they're-
pretty much where the film should have ended.
I don't know what they're called, but I called them crocodiles because
Nice, that's a good one.
I don't know if they have a name. On to the low points then. And what was like the worst bits and things about the film were. I've got it in low points because it's hilariously bad and I've actually hurt and laughing. Was their 360s when they were rollerblading. I've got the rollerblading behind me. It would just be skating along and every so often I would just go, hiya! I just do a spin. I just keep going. Like, all they're doing is rollerblade, not fighting anyone, not doing anything. So it's kind of like rollerblading parkour before parkour was a thing. But every time, there's literally maybe 2 or 3 of them were trying to do these 360s. It cracked me up anytime someone just threw a random 360 spin in when they're rollerblading. And also, rollerblading is never cool. Yeah, it's never cool rollerblading. No matter how much safety gear you have on. And
I don't know because when I
Yeah,
I bought rollerblades because of this film.
Yep.
Right.
The one that was cool as them though, they were just black ones.
I felt argue.
Yeah.
You're not making it any more cool by saying that.
So my underlying high point, it's not just for this film, it's about anything Power Rangers related, is the Power Rangers, and you're like it's perfectly in this rollerblading scene, they have a secret identity. To such a degree as when their little morpher goes off, they have to go and hide to answer the phone call. Yet they parade around in the exact colours of the Power Rangers in Angel Grove.
Yep.
I would be able to work that one out.
While true, I found it a very helpful tool to keep in track of where he was. The fact that they do wear like the same outfit the entire time that they're not being Power Rangers, it was very helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom is just plain white. A lot of people wear white, but people walk about constantly in blue, yellow, red, and pink and black. Again, black.
Like, I reckon if we did that, people would be like, "Are they the Power Rangers? Like, what Power Rangers is real?"
That's why I went for a green. I'm the Green Ranger.
I'm a Black Ranger. Oh, Andy's Black Ranger. So the proof is in that recent season of Boba Fett. The damn mods showed up all with individual on motorcycles. Immediately, everyone's like Power Rangers. So Power Rangers are an actual thing. Everyone's gonna be like. Yep. They're all different. Oh, they're dressed like the Power Rangers. Wait a minute. You're all young, fit people who do flips all the time. Any other? How about Chris?
Yeah. It always disappoints me in this film is that Saban, the sword, they never speaks. And we never get to see the original Megazords. Yeah. It breaks my heart. They got done dirty in this film.
Yeah. I mean, you get a nice upgraded suit, and the original Megazord is amazing, and like to go into one of my other low points, the Ninjetti Zords are gobshite, and the CGI was
they should have stuck with the man in the suit.
Yes, I don't know why they didn't. Because not to fully slag off the ending, but it was shit. the daylight CGI on the bad guy Zords, like Uzi Zords, looked awful. When they went to night, they were actually a little bit better. So if they hadn't done the daylight one, I wouldn't be so annoyed by them. But when they put them in like the daylight, it was awful. Yeah,
the first time it looks. It's even the way they kind of move. It's like you can kind of see, they've animated, and then it kind of takes a step and stops, and it's like, they've animated it to stop.
It just gets worse as well when Ivan morphs into the other one, and you see his face. It's just.
And the thing is,
like, say it was going to be him. It's going to be, finally, here we go. It's going to be Godzilla style, and it's going to be him. Just but nope, they have to CGI him as well. And
even the fight's awful. Just hug.
But like inside the cockpits again, they built cockpits. They looked amazing. They looked like this is from the series again. But they just needed guys in suits. It would have fixed this entire ending of this film.
And
It's
they
not
had
like-
more money as well. They could have done proper, like, decent suits and fighting and everything.
Yeah.
Not
But they
like
fucked
the
it.
people who go see it are going to be like, oh, what is? We've come to see this film, and it's just guys in suits fighting. They've just watched 100 episodes of the same thing happening.
Yeah.
They're not going to be disappointed at how bad these guys in suits are. It's what they're used
Yeah.
to. It's it was a step backwards, if anything.
Yeah. And that's why I always say this film ends when they get their Zords and just leave it there.
Yeah.
When they turn it
Which,
into
which another fun fact, which I'll lead on to another low point. The Tangul Warriors, the crows.
Yeah.
Right? They're not amazing. However, apparently what was actually meant to happen rather than fighting the rock crocodiles was the Tangul Warriors were meant to go back there and fight them there with a Queen Tangul Warrior, which was actually meant to be a really good fight. However, they ran out of budget, so they didn't bother.
right.
But yeah, apparently that was actually in the script, so there wasn't actually going to be like a big Zord battle to the very, very end. So they had to extend that whole Zord fight scene because that's why they CGI'd it, because they basically run out of budget.
To think how much money they're making back then as well.
Exactly.
I have no idea what low points you've hit on because I have quite a list here, but nothing's career movie defining like the end scene was. So things I've got as low points. The line that my man Ivan Ooze hits out with, "What is that odious stench? Smells like teenagers," and all that sort of stuff. Like, one, how does straight away he smell teenagers? Two, there's always going to be teenagers, regardless of where he is. Going to be teenagers. And three, why specifically teenagers? It's like
Because they're Power Rangers.
because it's a children's film. That's why. Yes, exactly. The random villains from the TV show get no introduction. I'm just supposed to know who they are. They show up.
Yeah.
Help the bad guy. Oh, here's the bad guy. It's like, all right, and they literally say, right, we'll just let you go on with it, and we'll stay at your hair, and then disappear. And it's like, oh, okay. Well,
That kind of annoyed me as well because Rita, obviously in the thing that she's done in the original like Japanese or Chinese, I think it's Japanese, isn't it?
Japanese.
The thingy. So her voice is dubbed. So they got the person who did the voice to dub the actress in this again.
Yeah.
And it's so poorly dubbed.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes, just get the actress in to do it.
I suppose maybe the Japanese actress can't speak English well enough, and also.
Oh no, I mean this is the actress who does the dubbing.
But then she
Does
would
it
look
do-
like her. She's like the one. She's the one character that doesn't have a face. Or it does have a face, I should say. Anyway, yes, fair point. But yeah, I thought they're just showing up. And again, like I recognise Rita Repulse, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I recognise she is like the defining bad guy. But the rest of them, I don't know who these people are. And it's like I get no. One of them has got a giant Z, and it's called, I don't know, Dr. Z or something like that. It's like, but isn't the good guy Zordon? He's also called Z. Why are you both called Z? Yeah, no introduction. A low point. The first time they morph, they wasted so much time actually morphing and flipping around that the bad guys just
That should be the high point because that is genius. Like that is never happened in a TV show, but that is like the film rectified that. It was so good.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh, we're really losing this fight. We should morph, and then just oh, forget it. We'll leave now then.
Another low point straight after that is you get these amazing suits, and then suddenly it's like, quick, put your torches on, and it's just the shittest torch you've ever seen on a helmet.
One of them, yeah, and it lights, I don't know, a tiny bit in front of her, and that's it. So bad. Not even like light.
Done dirty again, but he's the only one that doesn't have a special helmet or a special weapon.
The wire work in a lot of the fighting is hilarious as well. Where people are just like, and then they just kind of go.
It's like, do you know that scene in the Matrix where Trinity, you can see her holding the wire as she runs round?
Right,
You
yeah.
can see as they're flying down, you can see them holding the wire just with their feet out.
And it's like there's the one. The Blue Ranger has the kind of the thing that he zaps.
Yeah.
And it's almost like dangling, and he's like, oh, going towards it. It's loose against the thing that he's going towards. Made me laugh. Right, this is one of my major low points to hit on. It's my usual sort of thing I complain about. So imagine the scene. You walk into your house, and you can't find your son. And you find a jar full of something that you don't recognise. You open it. Smells really bad. So what do? Yes, you shove your entire hand into the jar and poop on it until it possesses you or whatever happens.
Well, it's never possessed me, but if the kids have got slime, I will just go like that and put my hand into it.
See, I would generally put my finger in it, maybe, but yeah, he's finger deep in it.
He goes, oh, it's like, oh god, and then immediately just goes like, it's like 3 or 4 fingers went into the jar. I've got why ninjas? Like, why were they ninjas?
I haven't got that far in the series yet, but apparently it wasn't happy. Nobody was happy about it because they're all shit.
Yeah, nobody was happy about it, but it's because it was just based on one of the new. It was the newer Japanese one coming out.
Yeah.
So they tried to catch up from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was in the 80s, to bring out the Ninja series, which was new in Japan, and the Sentai series.
Okay.
So they're trying to catch up on it.
But yeah, and it's kind of the inner spirits, wasn't it? Oh, you're actually ninjas.
Yes. Which also is my other major high point, is they have these awesome suits, which they keep, but then just change their Zord chest pieces, but all their helmets still match.
Yeah. I kept, because I thought, oh, we're going to get some different helmets, because I don't think I'd ever really properly looked at it, but during this film I was like, oh yeah, he's got like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
He's got they're going to have like a frog helmet and all that, but no.
Nope. And it's just because their Zords changed.
Yeah.
Which, to actually put this into content for the TV series, is this is actually set in an alternative universe into the Power Rangers. So they actually clear it up in season 3, where this is actually a different universe.
Right.
It's like the multiverse of the Power Rangers, because there was no way they could fit this back into, because they ended up just going back and using the Japanese stuff again.
Right.
Because that's what people liked.
Yeah. Also, I do wonder as well. So they go to this far-off, distant planet of Phantos, whatever it's called. Does it have the same animals there? As in,
I must do.
Quite clearly, this woman was speaking like English or whatever the international alien language was. But then, yeah, you're this far-off planet. They had to go through space for it. You had to morph all the way. You're the frog. You're the fox. You're the monkey, and all that. So I was like,
maybe it's just because they were Earth animals, and that was their inner spirits.
They
wouldn't have known about that old dead podcaster with his big headset on or anything like that.
Yeah.
I never noticed his little speaker until I watched it again. But like she says, everybody's got an animal within them, and obviously all their animals come out, and he's like, "Oh, my animal inside is a frog." Then they've got the big circle when they open the chamber thing, and all the animals are there. So did it predetermine who was going to get the animals or what?
I reckon that's why it was so far away, because it was like, oh shit, right? He's
We just sculpt this.
Chisel it out. Right, I've got one more major low point, and it's the lowest of low points. Bulk and Skull. They got done the dirty big time, as Chris keeps saying in this episode.
I said it earlier as well. It's the phrase of the movie.
Basically, right, I've had Bulk in my car for 4 hours. Right. I know, right? So, for people that don't know, I ran a Power Rangers convention based on getting hammered and watching this movie once, and then calling Steve Cardenas up, and then we ended up having a Power Rangers convention. Right. So, basically, I was talking to him about it, and I had never known, because I'm not like a diehard Power Rangers fan. I like it, but that's it. And I said to him, I was like, why are you not in the film? And basically, all of their stuff got cut out because of budget reasons. He apparently, their story arc was, because you probably see if you Google it online, if you put Bulk and Skull in, they're holding like a jar of Ivan Ooze up. They become the poster boys for Ivan Ooze. And that's their whole storyline. That's who sells it to the kids and the adults, and because it makes teenagers go they don't get possessed. They basically love the freedom and stuff like that. So that's why you see that random scene at the end. But yeah, they basically help Ivan Ooze all the way through the film, rather than Goldar and the pig dude. But yeah, basically the studio decided they didn't like that, and there's a scene they needed to film, and they run out of budget again, so they ended up just cutting it all out because it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that sounds better.
So, yeah, but it's purely because they run out of budget, and they couldn't tie up their loose ends. So just basically had them turn up the party, which made no sense at all dressed in purple, which they don't explain why everybody's dressed in purple either. But yeah, they basically got done the dirty, and they're absolutely amazing in the TV series.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't watch, it was kind of like, I understand that they're from the TV show. That's a nice little cameo for them. For someone who's looking for them to be in the TV show, you're kind of like, oh, where are they? They're like the best thing ever. So,
literally nowhere to be seen. But yeah, budget issues again.
So I've got 2 more low points. One is small.
I've got a few little ones. I've not gone for like the dad's montage that Andy was just alluding to. Just makes me cringe every time. It's awful. What's in the next one? It takes the parents nearly 2 days to walk from the factory to the construction site to their doom.
This possession thing is not easy. Like it takes a bit of work. And
Yeah,
a lot of red tape for the health and safety you get through.
Yeah.
I think we've already touched on the shitty ninja Megazord.
Yeah, I've missed that. I think we're covering how bad they are. I think.
My last one is the constant fist shaking. Like, I'm gonna go help these kids. Yeah, shake my fist. I'll join with these later. Yeah, shake my fist. Let's go do this. Shake my fist.
So my minor one is the monorail thing would definitely have fallen off. There is that physics that does not work like that.
unless the Falcon had tracks on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, it's the fact that it was on a bend as well, which means if you could cook it perfectly, that thing is turning the corner, and as soon as there is no track there, it's and my major low point that I actually kind of stopped the first time I watched, kind of stopped paying attention to the last bit of the film, is how sickening the "we have new Zords" scene is, at how much it is trying to like make kids buy new toys. Like, it's new toys. We have this. Like, look at this one. Oh, yeah. And it's like anytime someone's like, "Yeah, I'm the monkey," sort of thing, they're like, "Yeah, awesome, cool, yeah." And it's like, here's another new toy. And it's like it's like propaganda. Like, go buy we have new stuff, new Power Rangers, new. Go buy. And it's like it made me feel unwell. And I was like, oh, and also the bad CGI at the time as well. But yeah, it really, it was bad. The last bit.
My really quick last low point is how shit their power sword was. It got destroyed by a fucking antenna.
Yep.
I thought I had that in my notes. It might come up later on, but yeah, they're in a massive fight. Out of nowhere, it's like, I've got my flying sword and does whatever I imagine. So it just goes, and catches the bad guy, just zap, and all that. It's like, that would be quite a handy thing to keep on you and keep using throughout and all that. But yeah, the sword thing didn't work very well. Also, I'm not particularly sure what extra they do. This is a Power Rangers low point rather than anything. Joining all together, taking 20 minutes, whatever it is, to join all together. Why is it that much better than if there's 6 of them all attacking the one thing? I don't get.
Because it becomes a Megazord and it becomes the same size. I never actually understood the individual things, other than it just makes a cool scene in the series when they all join together.
Yeah.
I always kept
sure I had that toy.
Just be a big one and be that way, or stay as little ones and, like, I don't know, Empire Strikes Back.
Even in the series, they very rarely, like, this film probably had them as singles the most.
Right, okay.
Because
there's a couple of episodes where, like, the T-Rex will defeat the bad guy once, or the Mastodon will freeze
couple of episodes.
Yeah,
it's like they've all got guns and pistols, which they don't use once. Power Rangers logic basically is they start fighting in their street clothes, realize the bad guys are too strong, they then morph into the Power Rangers, realize the bad guys are still too strong, so then they get their guns, put them all together, never use them individually, put them all together to make one big gun. That then pisses off the bad guy, who then becomes big, which then they get their Zords, which then they just instantly Megazord up, and then if it really goes to shit, they get their power sword out and then try and hit them that way.
There's a funny thing about the TV series. The sword drops on the ground, and the guy's obviously right-handed, so he tries to pick it with his left and can't, so he grabs it with the right and pulls it out.
I do like the breakdown of this is the plot of every Power Ranger thing.
It literally is.
The gigantic leap of faith. It's okay, I understand. Okay, they don't fire their guns. Okay, they're the good guys. But it's all of a sudden the bad guy just becomes big. That must be the hardest bit to write an episode of television. Every time they need to go.
Well, it's always because Rita basically goes, "Oh my god, my guy's about to get defeated. I'll make him super big," and she blasts him. That's how it always happens.
Surely about, I don't know, the 20th time that happens, like, I'll make a big guy.
Start big. Start big.
What starts to happen is the monster starts to defeat the Power Rangers, so now another Megazord comes in and makes it an even super duper Megazord. And then there's another dinosaur that comes in that makes it like an ultra one.
Right, we need to power through because
I've no idea how long we've been going. Right, on a point for the stats. No shits, no F-bombs. 14 explosions. I was very kind with explosions. I counted little that I don't normally do, but 14 deaths. 19, I think, in total. 6 ooze men, if you count that as a death, and they just go splat. I don't know if they were a person to die. I'm not sure because it was kind of formed from ooze. But 6 of them. 8 bird men that were all just zapped. 4 of the crocodiles, and then Ivan Ooze gets exploded at the end. So it's 19. No dead animals, no cows, no goats, no peeing, no pedophiles. The devil, if you want to say Ivan Ooze is the devil, maybe a push, but probably not. And no KKK, no Nazis. They are the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So they're quite clearly mighty. I don't have to prove that, but I thought let's prove if they are in fact morphing and if they are in fact Power Rangers. So they morphed, all 6 of them, 7 times is what I
got. I got that too.
There we go. So
actually, altogether I got 14 because I included from them skydiving suits to the normal clothes to the Power Rangers, back to the normal clothes to the Ninjetti, the Power Rangers, and then back to normal.
So you did there and back again, where I just didn't get anymore. And there are 6 Power Rangers, so I can confirm that there are 6 of them. Is it ever more than 6? Or is it always 6 in a squad?
Originally, there was 5.
originally.
Right. Okay. And then the white dude, who was?
So basically, what happened was there was 5. The green one comes into it, but the green one was a bad guy made by Rita Repulsa, who then realizes he's actually a bad guy, turns good, and then becomes white.
Right. Some whitewashing of the Power Ranger. He's good, therefore he is white. And then did they say the thing? Did they say Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
In the song twice.
In the song, I got 3 times, but I might have misheard.
All right.
But yeah, in the song only. They do say Power Rangers 7 times, and they say it's Morphin time. I've got once, but I may have missed one because it may have been twice actually.
I think it is only the once.
Okay. To me, that's the famous. It's Morphin time. That's the famous. Them actually saying the thing. Chris, any stats from you?
Yeah. When Kimberly enters the Crane Zord, she says, "Nice stereo." That's exactly the same thing she said the very first time she enters the Pterodactyl Zord in the TV series.
Hey, look at him go.
I just literally because I watched it and I watched the film. I was like, that sounds familiar. I'll go back and watch it again. There's a Zord nut shot.
I knew that was coming.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, fuck yeah, I forgot about that. Let's go in.
Why was that? I don't
The
understand.
emergency button, yeah. I don't know.
Smash this, like that should be like, I don't know, B on your control pad, I think.
On the same vein of you, I did in the TV series they said morph, like a variation of the word morph quite a lot, so like morphonomical or something like that. So I thought they're bound to say it in this, but they don't. So they say like morph or exomorphicon or something like that 14 times.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And Tommy goes Hootsia like 7 times.
See ya. Okay.
I'm not in the TV series. It's every second he does something.
Yeah.
Hootsia.
That's his
Martial arts
noises.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. And Andy, any pornographic scenes?
Yeah. Green Amazon woman.
Yeah, I do not have her name in my notes once.
And Dulcia.
Dulcia.
Yes. Yeah, Dulcia something Fitzpatrick is her name. Gabriella Fitzpatrick or something.
Gabrielle Fitzpatrick, that's right. Seems to have been somewhat of an awakening for my co-hosts. On a point 5, the 10-point podcast quiz. Over to you, Andy.
Oh yeah, shit.
Rangers themed quiz.
Right. So this one is a nice simple quiz. It is the Power Rangers quiz.
Ah.
So it's a buzzer one. I'm not going to do. It's buzz in if you know the answer. Okay.
I'm going to say buzz when I'm buzzing in.
You're going to say buzz.
I'll say Hootsia.
Right, okay. Fuck. Here we go. Okay, so he's gonna do his noises. Don't say the answer until I've passed on to you. So like
Right.
Bruce or
From
Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Power Rangers quiz. Question 1. Who attempts to stop Yogi and Boo Boo from stealing picnic baskets?
Hootsia.
Chris.
The park ranger.
Why?
I need more.
Oh fuck! I can't remember his name.
Bruce.
Ranger. I should know that. I'm ashamed of my young self would be laughing at me for that. I cannot even remember.
Ranger Smith is what you were looking for. Right. Question 2. Name 2 of the 3 Powerpuff Girls.
Hootsia.
Chris.
There's Bubbles.
Yep.
What's it? Squeak.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right, pass it over to you, Bruce. I need one
Snap-
more.
Snap, crackle, and pop. There we go.
Nope. You were looking for Blossom, Buttercup, or Bubbles.
It's Blossom. I had it in my head. I couldn't get it out.
Right. Name one of the 2 Walker Texas Rangers.
Buzz.
Bruce.
Do I say the actor name like Chuck Norris?
Yeah, actor name. Yeah, Chuck Norris. You get the point. I would have also took Jared Pacaletti, who's the new Walker Texas Ranger.
Yes.
If you haven't worked out my quiz yet, it is literally Power and Rangers quiz.
Yes, yeah. I noticed when the first question came out and the word Ranger was in it.
Question 4. What power does the green Infinity Stone control?
Balls.
Bruce.
Time.
Yes, it is time.
I swear you said balls there.
Right, question 5. Name the Space Ranger who helps bring down the villain, evil Emperor Zorg.
Buzz
Bruce.
Lightyear.
Yay! I like your style, Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Chris looks confused. Come on, Chris, you need to bring us back. Only a few more questions to go. Which actor plays Dr. Evil's son in Austin Powers?
Ah, Hootsia.
I think Bruce said Buzz, but he kind of coughed. So
Oh, I did
Bruce.
say Buzz. Seth Green.
yes, it is Seth Green. Right, Chris, you've got 4 more questions to try and match Bruce's 3 lead.
Hootsia is too
What?
long.
Where does that tie in, by the way? I'm missing the point on that one.
International.
Austin Powers.
Ah, okay.
Right. Who is the Ranger of the North?
Buzz.
Hootsia.
Bruce.
Is that Ned Stark?
No, it's not Ned Stark. Chris.
Jon Snow.
No, it is Aragon.
Ah,
Lord
that's
of the
right.
Rings.
Ah, fuck. You can see where I'm into that
Oh,
one.
Is Warden of the North? Is that who? Is that what Ned Stark is?
Yeah, I think they're the Wardens, yeah. No, the Ranger of the North is Aragon. I would have took Strider, but Aragon. In Masters of the Universe, what power does He-Man call upon?
Buzz?
Hootsia. Oh, fuck.
Chris?
Is it the power of Grayskull?
Yes, it is the power
Yeah,
of Grayskull.
Basic as that, yeah.
Right, 2 more questions just for honour for Chris. Who is best friends of the Lone Ranger?
Buzz.
Chris?
Oh,
Yes.
best friends. I
Can,
suppose.
can you make
Co-workers.
it a clean sweep? How many different Power Ranger colours has Jason David Frank
Hootsia.
worn? Chris?
5.
It's 4.
Oh,
It's not.
It's 4.
It's red, green, black, white.
White.
Fuck, I googled it before. As well.
And a fifth one.
It's 4 different colours, but he has played multiple colours different times. He's on his phone. Anyway, Bruce
Different shades
Bruce
of green.
absolutely
fucking
dominated.
Yeah, I got right to that one there.
However, Chris, I will give you the win if you can get my tiebreaker question exactly right.
Right.
Okay. How many people from this film, i.e. the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, have I personally worked with?
6.
No.
Yeah.
Bruce wins.
It
was 9.
Oh, I
It
knew
was 9.
that. Yeah, I knew that. Is it all the Power Rangers and Bulk and Skull, or
No, I've not worked with Karen Ashley or Amy Jo Johnson. But the rest of them, Amy Jo Johnson, Paul Freeman, and the construction worker dude who's in the Matrix.
You just said yeah, look at Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah, you see.
I've never- No, not her. Her character, the 2 women I've not worked with. in
Not
this film.
all the guys.
All the guys, Bulk and Skull, Paul Freeman, and the construction worker dude. Oh, and Alpha 5. That was a thingy. That was the other one.
Easy.
She was in the suit. So yeah, Bruce absolutely destroyed your
Yeah.
Power Rangers quiz there.
I'm a Power Rangers. Right, we better crack on. I think we've got all night at this stage, so let's go on.
Aye.
Point 6, movies and movies. Parodies and references. Wizard of Oz is quite obvious. Beetlejuice, apparently firing blobs of ooze from one's hand is a Beetlejuicy kind of thing to do. That wasn't me, that was internet told me
Right.
Beetlejuice. Star Wars, obviously. Lord of the Rings, quite clearly. Hellraiser, because Rita calls Ivan Pinhead at one point.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead is the adult still turning into zombies. Ghostbusters 2, quite clearly the influence on an ooze that made of like bad feelings and all that. Pulp Fiction was clearly referenced in the dancing bit. Jurassic Park was said. Apocalypse Now is a kind of Apocalypse Now kind of quote. I love the smell of like chaos in the morning or something like someone says. Terminator 2 was referenced a couple of times, and then Godzilla because of giant things fighting in the streets. Something gets. Carry on.
Oh, go on. You might have one.
I was never not good now, so if I missed it,
All right.
I missed it.
So there's a fun one. Technically, it's within your movies. Judge Dredd, you missed one because the Power Rangers say double whammy, and this came out the week before Judge Dredd.
Oh, he's got
So it was the same weekend, and somebody worked on the same film twice, so they put it deliberately in Judge Dredd the double whammy feature because the same person, obviously, they said double whammy in the Power Rangers, and it was coming out the same weekend.
Okay, very good. I found no evidence of that anywhere, so that's a good bit of trivia.
There you go.
Good one. Am I never not good? It's kind of tough, but I think this is one of the most accurate. A skydiving scene or a scene where someone falls out of a plane and actually happens is always good in every film it's ever in, because we've had it in Crack, and then it's like James Bond films and all that. It's always good. Mission Impossible. So yeah, skydiving or at least jumping out of a plane is always good. Chris, movies and movies.
I know I say this all the time, but I feel like confident nobody's been in one of our picks before.
I think actually I could not find any evidence. I went quite far down and couldn't find any.
So have I rattled through it. I'm near everybody, I think.
It's because the famous person really is Paul Freeman. He's the kind of most widely travelled actor that's in it, and we haven't done any of the things that he's been in. So he was.
Although on a fun note, what's it, Adam? I can't remember. It's called John Young Bosch.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, he's been in like nearly 300 different things.
Aye, he does a lot of
Like voice work and stuff.
Japanese into American voice work.
Yeah.
As for us, I see myself and Andy as Bulk and Skull.
That's exactly how I sing it as well.
Oh, right. I actually thought of him.
And I put Bruce as Ivan News.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll take it. I think this is
I like kind of the darker route, the bad route.
This is one of the harder ones for me because like I wasn't looking at Bulk and Skull. I was looking at the Power Rangers. They're all the same. Like so what I'm going for is I think Andy has to be Ivan Ooze in my mindset. I'll be Zordon. I'll be that. But I feel like just that one scene where he was so sad at being the frog. I feel like Chris, something about you and the black.
I would. I'm not joking. See if I was left, they were like bears and apes and fucking falcons, and I'm a frog. I'd be gutted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can tongue people.
That Dulcia looked like she was wanting it.
Andy, any movies from your point? Or
I mean,
no, not really. This is like the hardest one to kind of recast, re-edit because it kind of spoofs itself. It's anything I add in would just wouldn't work.
And you can't do let's reboot it with actors because that
because they tried that and that was awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the actual one that stumped me. I'm going to call it. Just can't do it.
It is very much what it is, and you can't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would do? I would take what's it called, Jason David Frank, out and put him as himself as a UFC fighter, so he actually pummeled the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
No, I like his spinny kicks that just spin corkscrew for no apparent reason.
Oh yeah, right. He's a good one for shouting out the move he's doing, like ninja flying kick. Woo! And it just,
he got his brand down fairly quick. He just got that power, and then I'm going to call it the ninja flying spinning kick.
Right, point 7. Chrissy's Would You Rather?
It should be quite an easy one. Maybe not for Bruce, but would you rather have the dino powers or the ninja powers?
Yes.
All the way dino powers.
Yeah, I'm the same.
It sounds more fun, so yes, I'll go dino powers, I guess. As long as, at least you've got a helmet, it changes when you have the dino powers. On to the point 8 then. The nominations for the Pointy Awards at the end of the season. I actually have quite a chunk here. I didn't realise I had quite as much.
Go for it, you rattle through them then.
Right. Best team, I believe, is now an award, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, quite quickly. Best song has to be Higher Ground by the Chili Peppers. There are some rivals, like the actual Mighty Morphin Power Rangers song, and there was another one as well early on.
And the thing is, they have all their good songs in the first half an hour, then they can quite tell they run into budget issues.
I was like, this could be a good. Like, we've had like 3 actual songs in the first 10 minutes, and there's no more. This is the Power Rangers song. Best costume, that alien planet half naked woman. Best special effects.
The Power Rangers.
I would say Ivan Ooze or her.
Maybe Ivan Ooze. I might have gone Ivan Ooze, but yeah, I feel like her. I was. I think the half naked woman. That's quite an outfit.
You took a break halfway through, basically.
I will not forget that outfit. Or some other ones I might forget. Best special effects. I've gone for the Triceratops skeleton thing. I enjoyed that. I thought that was the best bit. Best acting. I have gone Paul Freeman as Ivan Ooze because he outacts absolutely everybody in the
100%. He is amazing in it.
Best entrance, the alien planet half naked woman jumping off a cliff.
Obi-Wan Kenobi style,
yeah. Immediately, that's when I wrote down Star Wars, and then I realised actually the opening scroll is Star Wars too. Worst father figure, the random dad character that's in this film. I'm not particularly sure why the dad and the kid. The kid also is most annoying.
He's my annoying kid.
Yeah, most annoying
kid.
Why?
He pisses me off every time I watch it. I hate that kid.
The strange trying to ground the whole story in reality by having these. I don't know what they're called. I don't know if their names ever get mentioned. So dad and kid.
But a fun fact, that kid was meant to be played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's not a recasting, that's actual true, is it? Yeah.
That was actual truth.
This would be before Third Rock in the Sun, wouldn't it? So Third Rock from the Sun. Other ones. Worst costume or hair. Jason David Frank's hair is, I don't know. he's hiding a mullet. Like he has it tied back. You can quite see there's just no hair on the side. And
When you first see the TV series, it's a proper mullet. It's a glorious mullet. And then he gets his long and ponytail.
He has nice hair. It is certainly well maintained. However, anything mullety has to be nominated for worst hair. The worst special effects, take a pick from the last 20 minutes.
I'm going for like proper.
I'm saying proper Ivan Ooze Megazord, but we're narrowing it down as that.
What you're supposed to build the whole film up to, and
it's awful.
Yeah. I've got worst cop, but it's got are there any police in this entire film?
I think the Power Rangers are the police force.
Yeah. Most annoying kid, the little kid. Most obvious name, I think Bulk just pips Ivan Ooze. Like both of them quite literally describe what they are, but Bulk is just one word. Most unexpected is Paul Freeman, because I did not know that was him until I saw like the credits at the end. My new one, stupidest character. There's too many to mention one stupidest character. Like I cannot pick out one, but pretty much anyone on the villain side. Best inanimate object. Here we go. Somebody mentioned it. The flying sword thing that is used once and then never used again.
Saba.
Okay, that. And then best bell end. Ivan Ooze rounds out all my nominations. He was the best bell end. Anyone get any others?
I've gone for best quote. Like it could have been Adam's "I'm a frog," but I went for when Ivan said, "You forget I'm the master of disguise," and the pig just goes, "How can I forget? I never knew." I don't know why. It cracks me up.
You did have a fair point. Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, you riled to everything.
I did it a lot.
I've got most underused Bulk and Skull.
I thought you might.
I want to put a category in for like actors that do their own stunts, because both Johnny Young Bosch did all his own stunts at the end because his stuntman broke his leg, so he ended up doing all of his own stunts at the end. And Jason David Frank actually did most of his own stunts as well.
Your best stunt, so we can put them in.
So
there.
Best stunt, I'm going to go for like best stunt is Johnny Young Bosch actually being an actor and doing his own stunts. Fair play to him.
Fair play, yeah, you can't argue with that. We do often praise people for like it being clearly them that was doing it rather than a stunt double. So I'll put that in. Any others from you, Andy, or is that us?
I think we're done.
Cool.
Best entrance, jumping out of a plane.
I thought about that, but I thought I had a reaction to the other one. But yes, it could be in the running. Moral of the story: what we thought the lesson to be learned from the film is. I'll go with mine because mine does actually really pertain to it. Mine is buy more toys, buy more toys, buy more toys. So Chris, what were yours?
I went for Bulk and Skull, the true heroes of this film.
They saved a lot of people from dying.
Yeah.
I saw that. Did they have? They were on the one parachute when they came down at the beginning as well, weren't they?
Yeah, like, I think Skull's parachute must have already forgot to put it on.
Because they jump out. Someone, I think Skull was carrying his, and then it's not like they have them on.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, carrying the one. So I felt like there was about 10 minutes.
Wait. Best inanimate object, Bulk spinning hat.
Oh yeah.
That thing was amazing.
I think we're on your moral story, Andy, are we? I think I got lost.
If you snooze, you ooze.
I thought about that one. That is a bit cheesy.
But very much so. 10th point on the 10-point podcast is the 10-point rating we rate the movie out of 10. Andy, you selected the film, so why don't you give us your rate first?
Right, so I remember watching this as a kid and like buzzing for it. And I remember watching it and fucking absolutely thinking this is the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen in my life. Because it is not the TV series. It is not as good as a TV series. It introduces a bunch of new characters like John Young Bosch and Steve Cardenas, who then go on to do the series anyway because of contractual issues with the previous ones. Rewatching it as an adult, it's actually a lot better. It's funnier because it's a bit more cheesy. And you like Ivan Ooze because Ivan Ooze is the true hero of this film because he hates teenagers, which I hate teenagers. And he just trying to make the world a better place. So as you watch it more, Ivan Ooze becomes the true hero of this story. The CGI is awful at the end. However, the overall story is okay, but you can tell they're cutting corners. So I'm going to go bang average. It's a 5.
5 from Andy. Chris, I've got you who's coming next because I knew you'd seen it before.
I love a bit of nostalgia, especially at the minute. I'm watching more and more like things I used to watch as a kid. I was really looking forward to watching this again. That was short-lived. Like the performances are like super cheesy. Like it keeps getting mentioned. Paul Freeman is the glue that kind of holds this film together, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, the cheese works in a 20-minute episode. It doesn't work in an hour and a half film.
Yeah. It's a Power Rangers movie without the Power Rangers. because they're not actually Power Rangers after the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like literally take the power away from them. Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
And they don't get until the last 5 minutes. And again, it's like the CGI and a whole bit of shit. They should just had the guy in the suit again, like keep it old school. Rangers outfits are fucking awesome though. I like them, and Dulcia was awesome. But that's not enough to save it from a 2.
Oh, 2!
Oh,
My God.
Monster.
So I had never seen it before, so I'll go last year. I've got a coherent enough story. Like, I was able to follow what was happening, and I understood why stuff was happening. But it kind of fails at pretty much everything else. Ivan Ooze is good, but nobody else in the film has a character. Like, I don't know why. Like, each Power Ranger is a different color, and I don't know anything. Like, they're the same apart from that to me.
I feel like somebody needs to blast through a TV series.
Maybe.
Might enjoy this film a little bit better.
But yeah, but I like watching this. This is the film. I'm judging it on the film. I don't know who. Like, oh, you're a gang of teenagers, and that's it. Like, I don't know anything else. And obviously, the more special effects it tries to put in, the worse it gets. So it snuck up to a 3 from me. I think I'm being kind, but because it works as a story, it gets a bit more credit, I think, from me. And nothing's like turn it off bad. So that means I think it's a 3 overall. I think from us. Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah.
It deserves better, but the series is better. Don't watch the film. Ignore it.
Did they ever make a good film, or was this the only try at a film? If you know what I'm saying.
No, they did a second film.
No. Okay, so they never did a good film.
No, they knew what they're doing with the series. You can't extend Power Rangers, and then that reboot was just god awful. Just don't do that.
Yeah, like I've literally never seen a second of that because
It's basically it's done. Power Rangers woke culture is the thing you want.
Speaking of that, slightly going over that way, did we know that there was a different Black Ranger in this film going into it?
No,
Because he even looks like in the start of the film, it's like, that used to be a black guy. Like, you can tell the look on his face. Like, I'm sure I was a black guy. And I feel like all the people who tuned in is like, who the hell is this guy? Why?
No, Steve Cardenas and Johnny Young Bosch got replaced. Like, they replaced the 2 previous actors.
Right. So what? So
Were
even
they not in the TV series for a little bit first? Then they did the
Nope.
movie.
No, there was a crossover period where this film came out and then they were in the series because this got delayed a little bit. But yeah, people like this was their technically first time you see them.
Can you even imagine, like, in the trailers, it's like, oh, that's the Power Rangers. It's a totally different guy.
I know, like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah. But yeah, so before we go on to next time, Chris, have you got any guesses of what Andy's theme is on the basis of 2 films?
Oh, Chris, I forgot that. What was
Which
this other
is-
film?
I've forgotten off the top of my head.
Blues
Blues
Brothers
Brothers.
and Power Rangers.
Yeah.
A mix.
I've got 3 guesses, like I typically do.
Colours.
Color. All right, I like where you're going, but no.
My first one is teams.
No, that's also a good guess.
Because we invented the best team. And
Colourful teams.
Colourful teams.
Colorful teams.
I've got-
That's it.
My next one is people that you've met, Andy. Is that your theme?
That is my theme.
Hey!
Ah.
My third one was going to be Andy's cosplays. This is my third one.
No, we got it in the second guess. It is people I've met.
Who have you met in Blues Brothers? I can't remember who you said. I zoned out on that one halfway through it.
Carrie Fisher.
All right.
And I literally had, because I said I would do it with everyone in the Europe Guys films, and literally every single podcast I said, oh, I've met that person. I did it subtly enough. Whereas in this one, I just basically went, I've seen 8, well, I've worked with 8 of these people.
Yeah, this was the one that kind of gave it away from me because I also
I
thought
was going to leave this to near the end, but I needed something a bit more action-y and a bit less miserable, because some of my stuff's a bit artsy-fartsy.
maybe going to run into one of them this weekend or last weekend at the Comic Cons. I thought, oh, maybe that's what he's tried to tie in with that. So I wasn't sure, but yeah, that was my guess. So there we go. We've got Andy's acquaintances going forward.
Clangers, that's what I'm going to call it, the name dropping.
Named exactly the Clangers. But we've already worked out my team. Well, Andy did. Andy, insider knowledge, and my first film gave away that my link is going to be Scotland between my selections this season. This was my most distant link to Scotland, but it is in there. So next time, I'm glad you picked the Power Rangers because mine is quite far away in tone and genre of Power Rangers. So next time, I haven't actually got the year written down, but early 2000s, turn of the century. We're going horror. We've not done horror in a while, I think. Misery was maybe our last horror. 28 Days Later, the Cillian Murphy and Zombies and Others movie.
I thought you were going to go for Day, to be fair. That's what I was thinking.
I was going to go for what, sorry?
Because that's Doomsday. That's pretty much the... It's the Scottish 28 Days Later.
Yeah, it's similar, but yeah, I believe there is a similar link to Scotland in this film as there is in Doomsday. It is on Disney Plus at the moment, so you can watch it on there. I do have the DVD double set of this in 28 Weeks Later. So yeah, you all have 7 days to watch 28 Days Later. 28 days, that is, not the weeks. And we'll see you next time on the 10 Point Podcast.